Hey everybody, Full Moon Cat here with another Carrion Fields tutorial. This video will be focused on death. So as the name of the game implies, there are a number of ways to die in Carrion Fields. I'm going to define those ways of death as PK death, that's being killed by another player, a mob death. NPCs in the game are often referred to as mobs, M-O-B. There are also death traps. These are rooms that will kill you instantly if you walk into them. And then there's just a general way to die outside of any of those that we'll just call environmental death. Those would be if you fall into a place that you can't get out of, you're trapped, or if you're poisoned and you die, something like that. So let's look at one of those types of death. This will be the type of death where you walk into an instant death trap room. So oftentimes if you're just walking around and you're not looking very carefully, you can find your way into a place where it's very dangerous. So if I look around here, you can see that if I look up, there's jagged rocks offer a means to climb up into the gale. But if I do that, then I fall to my death. So you can see that I've now died, and there is some text here in the game. And it tells you that you're now a ghost and that you need to be kind of careful because even a ghost should fear some dangers. If I look at my equipment, I don't have anything. If I look at my inventory, I also don't have anything. So what's happened to me is I have died. For the first time in this character, my corpse is in the room where I died. And because that was an instant death room, I can't even really go back to my corpse to try to get it. If I do, then it's just going to kill me again. So it doesn't mean that I've lost my stuff forever. All it really means is that I'm going to walk around as a ghost until my corpse decays, and then all of that stuff is going to return to my character. So don't panic if this happens to you. This is a fairly common occurrence in the game. When you're a ghost, there are certain advantages. I can walk into different places where aggressive creatures might have attacked and killed me before. And because I'm a ghost, I'll be protected from their attacks. This isn't always the case. There are definitely some places in the game where you still have to be afraid of things killing you as a ghost. Those are kind of rare though, so you'll be able to discover those places as you go. It's never a pleasant discovery, sadly, but it does happen. But you can see as a ghost here, if I go to the east gate of Galadon, for example, and close the gate, you can see that this gate is closed now to the west of me, but I can just walk right through it. So ghosts can walk through doors. I can't fight anybody while I'm a ghost. If I do a Who PK, you can see that I'm the only one in my PK range, even though some of these people would be able to be hurt by me. This guy, I believe I could probably fight if I wasn't a ghost. So what else happens to me when I'm dead? One of the main things is that you lose 1/3 of a constitution point. So if I do a score right now and look at my constitution, you'll see I'm still at my maximum constitution of 19 for a half-elf. So it appears that really nothing has happened to me for dying, but 1/3 of a constitution point is removed from my character when I die. So if I die 3 times, constitution will be reduced to 18. If you reach 3 constitution, you die forever. That's fairly rare. Most people don't really play the game long enough for that to happen, but if you find yourself dying a lot, you might find your constitution score getting slowly reduced. But really, losing constitution is not that big of a deal. Most equipment in the game, if you have a decent equipment set, that constitution score is going to be boosted, so you won't be reducing your healing rate or anything like that just for having a slightly reduced constitution. So don't be stressed out about death. Okay, so you can see that my corpse has decayed, and all of my stuff has been returned to me. So if I do an inventory, you'll see I've got all of my stuff on me now. And if I do worth, you'll see that I've been returned my coins that I was holding. And I can simply wear all that stuff and continue on with my life. Okay, so you get to be a ghost for probably 10 minutes in real time, and then you start to get these echoes here. So you feel your body start to regain its material form. That means you're about to not be a ghost anymore. So You get that echo, and that's kind of like a warning in case you're off doing something dangerous, because you're protected as a ghost, to be like, hey, you're about to have the normal consequences of being a solid person again, so don't do anything dumb. While you're a ghost, you can also use the recall skill, just like you could before level 10. I should add that. So that's one of the nice things. If you are off doing something dangerous and you start getting this echo, you can always just recall back to your hometown altar, and that'll save you from any repercussions of your foolishness. Okay, and finally, your body regains its material form. That means you're not a ghost anymore. If I do Who PK now, I can see I have people that I can fight. So now I'm just back to normal. I have all my stuff. I am just a normal person walking around. So the next type of death I'd like to demonstrate here is the mob death. That would be a death to an NPC. So if you look and you see that I've got 1,213 experience points to next level. One of the consequences of dying one of these types of deaths is that will end up adding more experience till your next level. So it'll put you in something that people often call an experience hole, although they're not nearly as bad as they used to be. So let me go ahead and die to a mob here. So I'm going to go ahead and set my Wimpy to 0. So you can see I no longer have a Wimpy, so I will not flee automatically when I'm fighting. And if I consider one of these elves here, you'll see there's an ominous hooded figure nearby, which means I definitely shouldn't fight this. And so I'm just going to go ahead and fight it. Okay, so now I'm dead again. I've been killed by this NPC, and now you can see my experience to next level has been set to 7,200. So it definitely took away some of my experience in the game. One of the consequences of dying to an NPC is just getting into one of these experience holes. If I were to die to another NPC, that wouldn't get larger. That's the most that I can be in the hole. What could happen is I could go out and gain a bunch more experience and get almost ready to level again, and then die again, and it could set me back. So this was the second time I've died with this character, and you can see if I look at my score here, that I still have my maximum constitution. So I've now lost 2/3 of a constitution point by dying twice. Now, because I died to a mob this time, one of the things is that if some other player comes across my corpse, they can actually start taking things from my corpse. So a good idea, if you do die to an NPC and it's in a place where you can get back to, go back to your corpse. And then you can take all the stuff out of the corpse instead of waiting for it to decay. That will prevent people from stealing your stuff. And then of course you'll be back where you were, which was probably someplace you wanted to be anyway, or why else would you have been there? So here I am back at my corpse. You can see that my corpse is on the ground next to the elf who killed me. And if I examine my corpse, it's got all of my stuff in it, so I can simply get all that stuff out of my corpse and wear it all again. You'll also notice if I consider this elf now, there's been a string of text added to the end of his description, the consider description, and it says that he is a veteran of many battles. And what that means is that he's killed a PC character before. And when an NPC kills a PC character, it becomes slightly more powerful. So if somebody else were to now come and try to kill this elf, if they were leveling up in this area, they would find that this particular elf NPC is now stronger and more dangerous than the other elf NPCs in the area. The next type of death I'd like to talk about is what I was calling an environmental death at the beginning of this video. One of the types of environmental death is a no escape room. It's kind of similar to an instant death room, except you don't instantly die. So I'm here in the Jade Mountains, one of the most infamous places for this stuff to happen. If I look at all of my exits, you'll see that one of these says it slopes down to nothingness and peril. That is a good indicator that I shouldn't go there, but for the sake of this video, I will. And when I do go there, you'll see that I'm now stuck in a crevice and there's no exits. A lot of times when you find a room with no exits in this game, if you look around, you'll find some way to escape. There's almost always a way to escape these places, but there are some exceptions, and this is one of them. There is no way to escape this particular room. And even though I'm a ghost right now, if I try to recall, I can't. So you're even blocked from escaping this place magically. So what can you do when you're stuck in a place like this? One of the things I could do is I could look at my who list, and I could see if there was a paladin or a good healer around. They can actually come here and do what's called a sanctify room, which would allow us to then leave this place magically with a recall potion or something. But in this case, there are no paladins or good healers logged in right now, so I'm basically just stuck here. I can't really do anything at all. I could sit here and wait for myself to starve to death or something like that, but that takes a long time. So the best thing to do is to just commit suicide. So there is a command in the game for that. Suicide. You can't do it if you're a ghost. So because I fell into this place while I'm a ghost, I have to actually wait for myself to reform and not be a ghost anymore before I can then commit suicide to get out of this place that I've gotten myself stuck. Okay, so now my body has reformed, I'm not a ghost anymore, and now if I type suicide, it'll kill me. There is no confirmation on that command, so do not type suicide unless you're absolutely certain that you want to die to get out of whatever situation you're in. And that was my third death with this character, so in addition to the usual stuff that showed up every time I died before, I now get this line, you feel some of your vitality drain out of you with this death. So now if I look at my score, you'll see that my constitution has been reduced from 19 to 18. So every 3 deaths that's going to happen. When you see that your vitality drain out, that just means that your constitution has been reduced by 1, and you either need to train it up or just be aware that it is reducing toward the final 3 constitution where your character will be dead permanently. And the final thing I'd like to cover with this video is just what to do when you're just done with your character. Let's say you've been playing this character, you've died a bunch, you decided that you would be better off to start over, or you have a really good idea for a new character. Whatever the case is, you've played this character out and you're done with it. What you can do is you can just let the character auto-delete. That would happen in, I think, a matter of a month, depending on your level or what race you're playing. What you can also do is you can just delete the character. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to delete. It'll give you a little summary of why maybe you shouldn't delete. It'll say that you're about to throw away however many hours you've spent on the character and yada yada. I'm okay with that, so I'm just going to go ahead and type delete again, and there you go. If you have deleted while you're still a ghost, that's called a rage delete, which if you're over the level of 30, if you go and you look at the battlefields on the official Carrion Fields website, you'll see that it has been labeled a rage delete. So that's been a basic summary of death. I would have showed you a PK death, but basically it's exactly like a mob death, but you don't lose experience. The other consequence to dying to a player is they're probably going to take some of the stuff from your corpse. That's just kind of one of the things about this game. Be aware that if a player kills you, they're probably going to, at the very least, take your gold, and they might take some other items out of your corpse too. That's just part of the game. When you kill them back, then, you know, pay them in kind. So, thanks. I hope this takes some of the fear out of death for the game. It's not really that big of a deal, and it is a big part of this game. So it's better to think about it as kind of a fun part rather than dreading it and being super scared to die.